Today's book is Pressure, brought to you by Trust in God, or Keep Calm and Trust God, Jake Provance and Keith Provance. Lord, when we long for a life without difficulties, remind us that oaks grow strong in contrary winds, and diamonds are made under pressure. Peter Marshall. Pressure. Oh, disclaimer. I can't read. Now that that's done. Pressure. We all have to deal with various pressures in our lives. Pressure to act, to perform, to confirm, to stand out, or to advance. We can even feel pressure to buy things we don't need, to impress people we don't know, or to fix a troubled marriage or rescue a rebellious teen. But when the pressure is on, it can distract us so that we don't think clearly. Seldom do we make good choices or wise decisions when you are under pressure. In fact, when you feel the pressure that you have to make a rushed decision, that's the very moment when you should back up, take a breath, and make yourself take some time to analyze your choices more closely. The pressures in life can overwhelm us if we let them. So the key is, don't let them. When you start to feel the pressure of a situation, turn to God and His Word. The Lord has promised that He will give us wisdom if we will just ask Him. Refuse to give into pressure. Instead, spend time in prayer, asking the Lord for wisdom and guidance concerning whatever situation you're facing. It might also be a good idea to get some input from a trusted friend who might have more objective perspectives. The Bible tells you to cast our cares on God, to trust Him because He cares for you. He will take what the enemy has meant for evil and turn it for good. With every temptation and pressure, God has promised relief and a way of escape. Refuse to let pressures of your life steal your joy and peace. I don't know if we're going to finish this book. Prayer. Lord, please help me stay calm and maintain my peace when faced with pressured situations. Help me not to feel forced into making rash decisions and hasty decisions. Show me how to not give in to pressure or act before I am confident in what is correct course of action actually is. Help me not to let the pressure of the moment force me into making an ill-fated decision that I will regret. Give me wisdom and clarity of thoughts to properly discern the choices available to me. Let me not be agitated, disturbed, or intimidated by the circumstances around me. Grant me your peace so that I may maintain calmness in the midst of adversity. I ask you for your guidance and the direction concerning the choices before me. Lord, I trust you and will follow your directions. Scriptures. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. 2 Corinthians 4:8-9, NIV. Consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come to you from all your sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. So don't try to get out of anything prematurely. Let it do its work so that you may become mature and well-developed and not deficient in any way. James 1:2-4, MSG. And we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. We are hedged and pressed on every side, troubled and oppressed in every way, but are not cramped or crushed. We suffer embarrassments and are perplexed and unable to find a way out, but not driven to despair. We are pursued, persecuted, and hard driven, but not deserted to stand alone. We are struck down to the ground, but never struck out and destroyed. 2 Corinthians 4:8-9, AMP. That has been the reading of Pressure. Again, that's not something I relate to, but this is a very special situation, especially when it comes to peer pressure, and that's something that a lot of people relate to. Once again, I'm sorry, I don't relate to that subject. Do I deal with peer pressure? Yes, but only in very small instances of my life. I have a problem with when authorities peer pressure. For instance, a lady at the mall says, "Buy this, I think it's cute for you," and I buy it, even though I don't like it. But it never really goes past things like that. Pressure to drink or do drugs, I've never experienced that, just because it's always been something inside of me strong enough for me to say no. And it's not something that I just decided one day I don't want to drink and do drugs. It's something that I've known since I was a kid. So that part of me is like rock solid, built-in, concrete, not swayable. So peer pressure is not something really that big in my life, but I don't know what is to come, and I'm not going to be arrogant enough to say that I will never have to deal with hard times of peer pressure. Some of you have already dealt with hard times of peer pressure, and I know that that can be hard to deal with, especially at such a young age. And we're going through a time as adolescents where we do deal with a lot of peer pressure. My advice to you, and this book's advice to you, keep calm and trust God, is to trust God in those times and to pray to God, because He's never going to let you down or disappoint you. Even if you don't get your answer right away, He is working on it. God's timing is better than yours. I'm sorry, it's harsh, it's true. Thank you so much for watching these videos. So far, we have covered anxiety, worry, fear, depression, and pressure. Tune in next week and the week after that and all the times after that to read about regret, stress, frustration, self-criticism, seeking the approval of others, fear of the future, and unexpected setbacks. I want to give a big thank you to Jake and Keith Provance for writing this book. It is $4.99. I found it at Winco. You can probably find it anywhere where you look it up. Keep calm and trust God. Bye. When you start to feel the pressure of a situation, turn to God and His Word. The Word has promised the Lord. When you feel the pressure that you have to make a rush decision, that's when reading for a solid hour, I think. And there's so much left. Times like this, when I want to give up, I have to push myself through, hoping that one of you is getting something from this. And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God. So to them who are called, and we know that all things work together for the good